So, all right.
Thank you. Yes.
Can I comment on that?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, thank you, brother, for sharing those words. And it is a challenge. Men seeking support, right? Seeking emotional support, and that's a challenge. And I think one thing that faith has to offer in that space is that, at least my faith, we have prominent examples in our history, going back to the roots of our faith, that show that men were never taught to don't cry, don't express this, don't express that, keep it all in. That's not part of our narrative, and perhaps that's the narrative in other faith communities too. And so faith has something to give there, because if you allow free expression, free emotional expression, and you promote that, and you paint the positive narrative that is, then that can be a handoff, right, into people that need additional support to get that additional support from mental health providers and so on and so forth. And so and then the partnerships that come in with clergy working with mental health providers that need to be, that where you're basically the clergy member is giving permission to their congregation, say, look, we want you to be able to emote. We want you to be able to express. We want you to, we know there's deep pain, and it, for you to be a whole person, maybe there's another mode by which you need to seek support rather than just here listening to the preach. But I'm telling you now that for you to be emotionally whole, explore that, right? So I think there's a strong connection there between faith and what it can provide for bringing out emotionalities, particularly in men.
I would also like to add, for many people, you probably heard laughing therapy, right? So if I've also developed, or I start practicing on myself, crying therapy, because of my years of depression in the past, where I cried so much to a point where I couldn't cry anymore. In situation where I wanted to cry, but no tears came out. And so this happened while I was in the seminary, and something happened during my prayer that I was able to cry. And when I caught myself, I was able to cry. I cried even more because I can cry now, right? And so when I went into my clinical program, I started developing that for myself. And so far as how do we cry, and many people are not aware, there's healthy and unhealthy crying. So if we cry and afterwards we can like vicarious trauma, right? It's similar to venting. There's healthy and unhealthy venting. So if we cry and we continue to suffer from it, then we're traumatized. But when we cry and it's healthy, because you get a sense of relief, right? And crying can also have to lead towards action, towards hope. Otherwise, you fall back into that depression as well.